Welcome everybody to the meeting. Cabinet Agenda 29th of April 2025. I remind everyone that the meeting is being live streamed to YouTube. Are there any apologies, please?
No apologies received.
And I can see 2 members online.
Yes, if they could confirm when I call their name. So Councillor Bidwell.
Yes, here.
And Councillor Pennell.
Hello, yes, I'm here too.
Brilliant, that's everyone joining remotely.
Thank you. Item 2 then, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest from any of the members present at all to declare? If there are during the meeting, will you please let me know urgently? Are there any declarations of interest from the members that joining online? Councillor Bidwell, Councillor Pennell.
None here.
None here.
Thank you. Item 3, the minutes. Are there any matters arising or points of accuracy from the minutes, please? None? Then I'll propose the minutes are adopted as a correct record. Can I ask for a seconder, please?
Councillor Jeffries.
Thank you. Can I ask for a show of hands to accept and adopt these as a correct record? Thank you. Item 4, urgent items of business. Are there any urgent items of business?
No, none notified, Chair.
Thank you. We then come on to item 5, which is the Local Transport Plan 2025 to 2037. Can I ask Councillor Gilby, please, as a Cabinet member, to present this?
Thank you, Leader. Apologies, Leader, some technical problems. Thank you, Leader. Colleagues, I introduce the proposed adoption of Bracknell Forest's 4th Local Transport Plan, setting the borough's transport strategy for the period from 2025 to 2037. The Local Transport Plan, or LTP4, is a statutory document required by national legislation. It outlines our ambitions and objectives for how people and goods will move across Bracknell Forest in the years ahead. LTP4 has been shaped by a wide range of factors, national priorities like decarbonisation and climate change, alongside local needs for safer streets, better public transport and improved walking and cycling routes. Developed in tandem with the Council's local plan, it reflects changes in travel patterns, feedback from 2 rounds of consultation and our shared vision for a greener, healthier and better connected borough. The plan sets out an inclusive transport network supporting all residents, workers and visitors and ensuring Bracknell Forest remains a great place to live, work and thrive. I so introduce this report.
Thank you, Councillor Gilby. Can I ask the Director, please, Andrew Hunter, Executive Director, to please answer any other points that you'll add any other points to this?
Yeah, thank you. Just to reiterate the point that this is our strategy for transport running up until 2037. So the vision in there is about being sustainable, creating integrated transport network, promoting safety and accessibility, and making sure that we've got a healthy network, reducing carbon emissions, etc. It sits underneath our normal borough priorities. Those particularly relevant here are the thriving economy and the green environment. It has been developed after extensive consultation, both through an online survey where we received over 1,000 responses, and then further shaped through a public consultation agreed by the Cabinet. As Councillor Gilby mentions, there's a decarbonisation focus, so we're emphasising the reduction in carbon emissions through sustainable travel options, with an aim to shift travel behaviour towards greener alternatives. We are, as it's a plan that runs for a great number of years, we will be monitoring that plan and we will be adapting it as we go along just to ensure that it stays up to date. So Cabinet are asked to recommend the local transport plan to Council for formal approval and sign off. That will be in July. And to note the changes following public consultation and agree the document as our principal transport policy for the Council. Thank you.
Can I ask if there's any member of the Cabinet has any questions of the officer? Can I just ask, there was a response, there were several responses which have now been incorporated in from the consultation, which have now been incorporated in the plan, which was encouraging. So we've actually listened, and one of them was said we're going to explore demand response transport. What does that mean?
So demand responsive transport is where you have something like a shuttle bus that people can contact to be picked up. So rather than it being a timetabled bus service as an example, this would be one where it's demand focused, so people would contact and use it. It's been used in a sort of a taxi basis in other parts of the country, so it's just an exploration of that and whether that's more effective than maybe supporting a bus service that only has a low patronage. But it's for further exploration.
Thank you. Really interested. Are there any other questions? No? Can I ask Councillor Gilby to move these recommendations then, please?
Leader, I so move.
Can I ask for a seconder?
Thanks, Leader. I'm happy to second.
Can I ask the move to speak to these recommendations, please?
Thank you, Leader. I am proud to formally propose the adoption of Bracknell Forest's fourth local transport plan. This plan is essential to our borough's future. It is ambitious, it is necessary, and it is firmly rooted in both national imperatives and the local aspirations of our communities. LTP4 will put us at the forefront of addressing climate change at a local level. Transport accounts for a significant proportion of our carbon emissions, and this plan lays out clear and achievable steps to reduce them, promoting active travel, investing in public transport, supporting electric vehicles, and creating safer, more inclusive spaces for all users. But this is about more than just emissions. It's about building a healthier, more accessible, more connected borough. It's about creating the conditions for local businesses to thrive. It's about protecting and enhancing the quality of life for every resident. Developed with extensive consultation and strong community support, this is not just a plan, it is a collective vision. By adopting LTP4 tonight, we are taking a bold, necessary step toward a fairer, greener and more resilient Bracknell Forest. I urge all members to support it.
Thank you. Would the seconder like to speak?
Thank you, Leader. Thank you, Councillor Gilb. As someone who loves cycling and getting the bus for the benefits of health and feeling part of a community respectively, I'm pleased to second our fourth local transport plan. This plan sets a brave and essential course for Bracknell Forest's future. LTP4 is not just a transport strategy, it is a vision for a cleaner, safer and more inclusive borough. This plan responds directly to national challenges like climate change, while also reflecting what our residents have told us. They want more sustainable travel options, safer streets and a network that works for everyone. With LTP4, we are committing to action, investing in cycling and walking infrastructure, enhancing public transport and enabling the shift to electric vehicles. It is aligned with our local plan and supports key priorities, a thriving economy, greener environment and healthier communities. Most importantly, this plan aims to make sustainable travel the easy choice, not the difficult one. The consultation process has been robust and inclusive, and the plan before you today reflects real community input. Now is the time to move forward. I support the adoption of the LTP4 as our principal transport policy for 2025 to 2037. Let's build a better connected Bracknell Forest for the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else like to speak? I would just like to say that one of the things that's been introduced here, which I think is long needed but now happening, is there is a concessionary bus pass for a concessionary companion pass, so that eligible disabled bus users can be supported and to use the bus. And I think that is a really good move. And I'm really pleased to see it was incorporated in this plan. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Can I ask Councillor Gilby to wind up, please?
Nothing further to add, Leader.
Can I then ask you to remove the recommendations 3.1 on page 33? Can I ask all of those in favour to raise their hands, please? Thank you. We then come on to item 6, which is the Thames Basins Heath Special Protection Area Supplementary Planning Document. That's always such a good thing to talk about. Can I ask Councillor Gilby to move these recommendations, please, or this document?
Thank you, Leader. You're going to be hearing a lot from me today, I suspect. Colleagues, I introduce the proposed adoption of the updated Thames Basin Heath Special Protection Area Supplementary Planning Document, or SBA-SBD. This updated SBD provides essential guidance to ensure that new development across Bracknell Forest properly avoids and mitigates impacts on this irreplaceable ecological site. It aligns with the latest local plan, national policy and Natural England guidance, offering greater clarity and consistency for applicants, planners and stakeholders alike. Through measures such as strategic access management and monitoring and the provision of suitable alternative natural green spaces, the SBD will help protect sensitive habitats and species while supporting sustainable growth across the borough. The document reflects consultation feedback and ensures that Bracknell Forest's approach remains robust, responsible and up to date. I so introduce this report.
Thank you. Can I ask the director, please, executive director, to actually outline anything else he would like to add to this?
Yeah, thanks very much. So the SPD, as Councillor Gilby says, will become part of our planning framework. The document was brought before Cabinet previously. You agreed that for public consultation, and that's been undertaken. The version that's provided with the papers has been updated and supersedes the version that was previously publicly available, which was from 2018. So there's updated guidelines on our suitable alternative natural green spaces approach and the strategic access management and monitoring approach as well. So we are seeking to adopt the SPD and use it as a material consideration in planning decisions. So the Cabinet are asked to adopt that tonight and enable some delegations to me in consultation with Councillor Gilby to make any minor changes prior to publishing the document. But happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Can I just ask, please, if these plans are now being updated, but they've been in place for a while? Have we got is there a record of how successful they've been, or do we publicise this? Because I think they have been successful. When you talk to the wardens that are responsible and work on the heathlands, they always tell you how successful they are. So could we have a record of this and a report so we can show people these are in place for a reason? They're in place because we need to protect them and these three species, and it's working.
Yeah, we have a regular catch-up with Councillor Gilby on an annual basis just to take him through the impacts from this strategy. It's probably worth saying that bird numbers, because the Thames Basin Heath protects 3 species of birds, all of which are doing well in that location, which was the key part of the strategy. But we can certainly provide Cabinet with some updates on some of the information that we've done and how long the programme's been running and the positives from it, so that you've got that available too.
Thank you. I think that would be really good, because then we can celebrate that this is working and the new plans and the adaptations are desperately needed. Can I ask Councillor Gilby to move the recommendation, please?
Leader, I so move.
I will second it. Would you like to?
Thank you, Leader. I am pleased to formally propose the adoption of the updated Thames Basin Heath Special Protection Area Supplementary Planning Document. The SBA is one of Bracknell Forest's most precious environmental assets, supporting rare species and enriching our wider natural environment. This updated SPD ensures that we continue to meet our legal obligations while delivering on our commitment to sustainability and biodiversity. By providing clear, consistent guidance for how development must mitigate its impacts through suitable alternative natural green spaces and strategic access management, we protect the SBA and give developers the clarity they need to bring forward sustainable schemes. This document strengthens our environmental stewardship and supports our ambitions for a greener, healthier and more resilient borough. I commend it to Council and urge members to support its adoption.
Thank you. I would just like to add to that, again, to reiterate the fact that these are essential policies and they do safeguard just not the 3 ground nesting birds, but also the biodiversity and natural environment in these areas, which are extremely valuable. I second this. Does anyone else like to? Councillor Wright.
Just quickly to say that I was on a walk for wellbeing today in Bucklers Park with Joe Mellion, the Chief Ranger, and he was saying that the numbers of nightjars, woodlarks and Dartford warblers have gone up in the last year, so that was good news. But obviously it would be good to have a proper report at some point, but yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Gilby, would you like to wind up, please?
Thank you. Simply to echo what Councillor Wright has alluded to, which is the great success story that is the SBA. Before this came along, these 3 bird species were under threat within our area, but the SBA has done a great good, and I should clarify that I'm a part of the Joint Strategic Partnership Board. In fact, I'm chair of the board, which meets regularly to assess how successful it is. And it is wonderful to hear from the dedicated teams of wardens who support the various actors within our partnership talk about the great success that they've had in encouraging these species not just to survive but flourish within these areas. We of course are always on a balancing act between welcoming people into this environment to appreciate it whilst also protecting these bird species, but we do that very successfully through the example of SANGS, and this document will do very much to strengthen and uphold the work that's already been done.
Thank you. Can I ask all those in favour to raise your hands, please? Thank you. We then move on to item 7, the adoption of statement of community involvement. Can I ask Councillor Gilby to present this report, please?
Thank you, Leader. Colleagues, I introduce the proposed adoption of the updated Statement of Community Involvement. The SCI is a key document that explains how Bracknell Forest Council engages with residents, businesses and stakeholders on planning matters. This updated version reflects changes in the way we communicate, incorporating lessons from the pandemic, embracing new digital methods and putting inclusivity at the forefront. It has been shaped through public consultation, updated to align with our council plan and equality scheme, and ensures that planning decisions continue to be open, transparent and accessible to all. I so introduce this report.
Thank you. Can I now ask Andrew Hunter, the Executive Director, to add any points he would like to?
Thank you, Leader. Yes, just to say that the statement of community involvement specifically around planning issues is just setting out our approach to dealing with planning issues, both from a planning application perspective but also from a local plan perspective, so how people can get involved in the process to shape plans and also to then get involved in planning applications either through consultation or through making objections, etc. It also sets out how we would expect developers to behave during that process as well. As Councillor Gilby said, the document which was before Cabinet prior to consultation has been updated, picks up the feedback that we received through that process and does really reflect the changes that we've picked up since the pandemic. So Cabinet are going to be asked to support the statement of community involvement and again delegate any minor changes to myself in consultation with Councillor Gilby prior to it being published. Thank you.
Are there any questions? No? Can I ask Councillor Gilby then to move this recommendation?
Leader, I move
or
the
adoption even.
Leader, I move the recommendations.
Can I ask for a seconder?
Councillor Jeffries.
Thank you. Councillor Gilby would like to speak to the this motion.
Thank you, Leader. I am pleased to formally propose the adoption of Bracknell Forest's updated Statement of Community Involvement. This document strengthens the way we engage with our communities on planning matters. It ensures every resident, business and stakeholder has clear opportunities to be informed, to have their say and to influence the decisions that shape our borough. It reflects a modern, accessible approach, using the best of digital engagement while remaining inclusive for all, including those less able to engage online. Aligned with our council plan and equality scheme, The updated SCI shows our commitment to transparency, fairness and community-led planning. I commend the Statement of Community Involvement to Council and urge members to support its adoption.
Thank you. Would the seconder like to speak?
Yes, please, Leader. The updated SCI, Statement of Community Involvement, abbreviations, outlines how Bracknell Forest Council will involve residents, businesses and stakeholders in planning decisions. It reflects changes in communication methods, lessons from the pandemic and improved digital access, aiming for greater inclusivity, transparency and responsiveness. Aligned with the Council Plan and Equality Scheme, the SCI emphasises the Council's commitment to community-centred planning. Thank you, Leader.
Would anyone else like to speak? No? I would just like to say that this is the third item on the agenda tonight, which has gone out to consultation, and again, it shows we've listened and there's been adaptations to the original to make sure that the feedback has been incorporated. So I think full consultation continues. It's been my wish all the time, and I think there's more people we can get involved in these consultations, the better. Councillor Gilby, would you like to sum up, please?
Only to say that Councillor Jeffries shouldn't apologise for using abbreviations. If I started going around saying Thames Basin Heath's Special Protection Area Supplementary Planning Document all the time, I'd never get home. So no need to apologise. That's all, Leader.
Thank you. Can I ask all those in favour to raise their hands, please? Thank you. We now move on to item 8, which is the Highways Transport Capital Programme 25-26. And can I please ask the Cabinet Member, Councillor Gilby, who's having a good night tonight, to present the report, please.
Leader, I suspect everyone will want me to shut up soon, but this is my last item for introduction tonight. Colleagues, I introduced the proposed Highways and Transport Capital Programme for 25-26, which sets out £7.4 million worth of investment into Bracknell Forest transport infrastructure. Funded through a blend of local and external sources, the programme addresses immediate maintenance needs and long-term priorities, from supporting safer routes to school and encouraging sustainable travel, to resurfacing key roads and improving traffic management. The programme is shaped by the priorities of the local transport plan and reflects our continuing commitment to safety, accessibility and supporting a thriving, sustainable borough. I so introduce this report.
Thank you. Can I now ask, please, Andrew Hunter, Executive Director, to add any points to this?
Yeah, thank you, Leader. So this is our annual report that we bring to you after budget. As Councillor Gilby said, that there's just over just under 7.4 million of funding aimed towards our borough transport infrastructure, of which 70% of that is funded externally. Having just agreed the local transport plan, it's good to see that this capital programme sits underneath and aligns with that local transport plan, addressing priorities such as walking and cycling, safer schools and efficient traffic management. Government support has enabled us to undertake some of the work, so we've had additional capital allocations from government for active travel and bus infrastructure and have expanded the programme, ensuring cost-effective delivery aligned with those environmental goals. The programme also includes a local contribution of 2.2 million towards highways maintenance. It's probably worth just saying that despite that increased funding, the demand for planned maintenance will always exceed our budgets. So we do undertake a sort of an asset-based condition assessment in building our programme. We do have a sustainable transport focus within the programme, and we have built this up following sort of community involvement, both from local members and members of the public who've brought things to our attention, and then those schemes have been developed on the back of that. Appendix 1 of the papers contains the broad schemes that we'll be undertaking for the next year, and those come under sort of broad headings of sustainable transport, traffic management, cycleway and road, footway and cycleway maintenance, structures maintenance, drainage maintenance and street lighting and electrical maintenance, all of which probably are the unsung heroes of the highway network, and you don't always notice that money is being spent on those. So I'm happy to put this before you. We're asking the Cabinet to agree this today, and then this will be the programme that we will implement over the next financial year. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions, please?
Yes, please, Leader.
Okay, thank you.
Back in November of 2023, a motion was agreed at full council. Included in it was an asking that we explore options for making further improvements to road safety for pupils on their journey to and from school, including implementing 20-mile-per-hour speed limits on roads adjacent to schools where needed. Can you explain how this programme acts on this? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. So if I draw members' attention to Annex 1 and under sustainable travel, we have a Safer Routes to Schools programme, so there's 400,000 identified for that. And within that, you'll see a set of programmes for controlled crossings, 20-mile-an-hour zones, 20-mile-an-hour speed limits in and around schools. So we've got Pinehall Road, Grant Road, Binfield C of E School, Warfield C of E School. So we've picked up those points, looked at what's possible, and this is the first part of that programme, and it's contained in the annex.
Thank you, sir.
Can I ask that the publication of the list of roads and what work is going to be done is really of great interest to all councillors and everything, so they can access this? And is it on the website? So if somebody wants to come and say, is my road going to be done, they will be able to see this?
Yes, so I mean, all of the documents within the papers are obviously available publicly, but when we are doing schemes, so road resurfacing, etc., we do quite extensive consultation both with ward members before those things happen, putting it through what we call the ward alert, but we also make residents aware through letters, Facebook posts, etc., so that they're kept informed of what's happening when. It's a detailed programme, and sometimes it changes because the weather changes, etc. So we pick up on all of that, but we pride ourselves on trying to keep those communications going well with residents. But this programme is available to you online. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? Can I ask Councillor Gilby to move these recommendations then, please?
Leader, I move the recommendations.
Thank you. I have a seconder.
Councillor Neil, seconded.
Councillor Gilby, would you like to speak to this?
Thank you, Leader. I am pleased to formally propose the approval of the Highways and Transport Capital Programme for 25-26. This programme represents a vital investment in the fabric of our borough, ensuring that our roads, paths and transport systems remain safe, accessible and fit for the future. It supports our ambition for a greener Bracknell Forest by encouraging sustainable travel, investing in active travel routes, improving public transport infrastructure and upgrading vital road services. It also recognises the changing needs of our communities, providing for safer school journeys, better traffic flow and preparation for the future of electric vehicles. I commend this balanced, forward-looking programme to Cabinet and urge members to support its approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Would the seconder like to?
Thank you, Leader. We heard through the budget consultation earlier this year that investment in our road network was a key focus for residents. In the programme, I am pleased to see interventions targeting safer access to schools and upgrading road services, as these are things we often hear from residents about. I am pleased to second this item tonight and look forward to seeing what it delivers.
Thank you. Does anyone else like to speak? No? Thank you. Would Councillor Gilby like to sum up, please?
So I think you've heard enough from me, nothing to add, Leader.
Can I ask all those in favour of the recommendations 3.1 on page 263 to raise your hands then, please? Thank you. We then move on to item 9, Bracknell Forest Physical Activities, Sports and Leisure Strategy. Can I ask the Cabinet member, please, Councillor Jeffries, to present the report?
Thank you, Leader. The purpose of this report is to seek approval for the Physical Activity, Sports and Leisure Strategy alongside its supporting 3-year implementation plan. This strategy aligns with the borough's commitment to fostering engaged and healthy communities as outlined in the Council plan. Approval of this strategy and its implementation plan is crucial for fostering an active and engaged and healthier borough by aligning with the Council's priorities. This strategy sets the foundation for sustainable improvements in physical activity, sports and leisure services over the next 3 years.
Can I then ask, please, Damien James, Assistant Director of Contract Services, to add any points he would like to?
Thank you, Leader. Yeah, just to add that this strategy includes a significant amount of consultation with both sports clubs and also the general public, residents and users of our sports facilities as part of the process of pulling together this strategy. There are really three identified areas which we want to focus on through this strategy: active people, active communities and active places. And those will be the predominant focus of the implementation plan, which takes us to 2028, and that will be reviewed regularly as part of our communication and meetings with Councillor Jeffreys going forward. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Can I just ask, it says that there is the budget for this will come from the business change to fund the feasibility study. Is that right for this?
If you're referring to the feasibility study for Bracknell Leisure Centre, yeah, there is some budget set aside as part of the 25-26 budget proposals or budget for that particular feasibility study. Yes.
Can I then ask, because you highlighted the leisure centre, so does it also include the consultation and this work on the golf club and the coral reef, the three things that are run by everyone active at the moment?
So the feasibility study funds are specifically for Bracknell Leisure Centre. At this stage, there aren't any feasibility funds for the other two facilities.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Right. Councillor Jeffreys, would you like to move these recommendations then, please?
Yes, please, Leader. I'd like to move this.
Thank you, Leader. I'd like to second it.
Councillor Wright? No, Councillor Wright seconding it. Yeah. Right. Okay, Councillor Jeffreys, would you like to speak to the recommendations, please?
Thank you, Leader. Just in summing up, approval is essential to promote a more active, engaged and healthier borough. The strategy supports the borough's commitment to engaged and healthy communities, as stated in the Council Plan. The strategy aims to ensure sustainable improvements in services related to physical activity, sports and leisure over the next 3 years. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Would the seconder like to speak?
Thank you, Leader. Thank you, Councillor Jeffreys. As Cabinet Member for Health, I'm pleased to second the Bracknell Forest Physical Activity, Sports and Leisure Strategy. This marks a bold and necessary commitment to improving health, well-being and the quality of life for every resident, regardless of age, ability or gender. Our vision is simple but powerful: to inspire all communities to lead more active, healthier lives. Backed by consultation and strong evidence, this strategy gives us a framework to deliver real lasting change through inclusive, sustainable and community-led initiatives. This strategy is a vital part of our wider commitment to healthy, engaged communities, whether through better facilities, local partnerships or fresh ways of involving residents. We are putting health and well-being at the heart of Bracknell Forest's future. A great example of this is the walk that I was talking about earlier. I joined a guided walk for wellbeing in Bucklers Park. Over 30 of us enjoyed fresh air, signs of spring and a sense of community. Thanks to Bracknell Forest's head ranger and Mark from Sustrans for organising. I ask colleagues to support the strategy and its 3-year implementation plan so we can move together to create a more active, inclusive and thriving borough. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? I would just like to say that I think the residents will really want to take part in a consultation on this. So it will be really important that we get consultation out as wide as possible in as many areas as possible, and obviously the councillors will take part in that because we always have. Oh, it's already consulted on. Okay, so take that back then. Thank you. Was the response good? Okay, thank you. Sorry. Right, okay. Can I ask then Councillor Jeffries to...
Nothing further to add. Thank you, Leader.
Can I ask then, please, all those in favour of the recommendations 3.1 on page 269 to raise your hands? Thank you. Item 10, approval of the school attendance strategy 2025 to 2028. Can I please ask Cabinet Member Councillor Bailey to actually report on this, please, present the report?
Yes, thank you, Leader. On the 6th of May 2022, the Department for Education released new guidance working together to improve school attendance, to support schools, trusts, governing bodies and local authorities in maintaining high levels of school attendance and improving the consistency of support. This guidance will become statutory from the 19th of August 2024. As a council, we have been working closely with the Department for Education to ensure that we are fully prepared to meet our responsibilities. An attendance strategy has been developed as part of our duties under this guidance, which has undergone public consultation. Relevant changes have been made based on the feedback received. The strategy will help us clearly define key roles, responsibilities and expectations, as well as outline the sanctions and/or support to be applied in response to low attendance and/or punctuality, with the aim of improving overall attendance. The strategy is aligned with the Council's plan for 2023 to 2027, particularly the Engaged and Healthy Communities priority. One of our core ambitions is to ensure that children have access to quality education and the opportunities to reach their full potential. We have high aspirations for the children and young people in Bracknell Forest, and we believe that regular school attendance is crucial to their achievement, well-being and broader development. Being in a school or college environment with teachers and peers is the best way, we believe, for most pupils to learn and realise their potential. That's me. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Can I ask Audrey Johnson, please, to come and add anything else to that report?
Thank you, Leader. Thank you, Councillor Bailey. The school attendance strategy provides a clear strategic vision on how we will work with partners to improve school attendance. Consultation has taken place throughout the development of the strategy using a variety of consultation methods, and we've also been out to public consultation as previously agreed by Cabinet. The strategy has been revised in light of the feedback received from young people, parents, carers and professionals. It contains 4 priority areas, and we've also made 2 priority groups in young carers and young people and children with SEND, because we know that they face particular barriers to attending school. There is an action plan that has been developed that breaks down each priority area that ensures that progress will be achieved in implementing the strategy, and a working group will be formed to oversee the implementation of the action plan. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Are there any questions, the officer, please? None? Thank you. Councillor Bailey, can I ask you to move the recommendation then, please?
Yes, Leader, I move the recommendation. Thank you.
I will second that. Councillor Bailey, would you like to speak to it, please?
Yes, thank you, Leader. Investing in our children's futures starts with access to good quality education, and attending school regularly is part of that. Working together to support our children to attend school may appear a simple ambition to have, but in practice it is often difficult to achieve. This strategy aims to support the implementation of the national guidance and to improve school attendance by clearly defining key roles, responsibilities and expectations, as well as outlining support. The strategy is aligned with the Council's plan for 2023 to 27, particularly in the Engaged and Healthy Communities priority. One of our core ambitions is to ensure that children have access to quality education and the opportunities to reach their full potential. We have high aspirations for the children and young people in Bracknell Forest, and we believe that our regular school attendance is crucial to their achievement, well-being and broader development. Being in a school or college environment with teachers and peers is the best way for most pupils to learn and realise their potential. I am acutely aware that pupils with special educational needs and disabilities are disproportionately affected by attendance issues and therefore face greater barriers to consistent school participation. The strategy is written with the aim to support those discussions between the council, schools, parent carers and children and young people. I will be giving this a specific focus and will be monitoring the school attendance metrics through reports into the SEND Improvement Programme and associated monitoring boards. The strategy has been through a comprehensive consultation process where possible, and the feedback of parents, young people and others responding to the consultation have been taken on board and included. I support the approval of this strategy. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. I would like to add that having taught for 32 years, there's a huge correlation between good school attendance, achieving positive outcomes, both academic success, but also health and well-being and social connections, resilience, and really stability, routine, and becoming and taking your place on your a really positive journey. This strategy is all about working together in partnership to get consistency, but recognises the need to support the most vulnerable. 100% of the schools in Bracknell Forest are rated good or better by Ofsted, so all attendees have access to good education. The sadness is that a quarter of our secondary children in Bracknell Forest are persistently absent, so there is a real need to get this resolved. This strategy highlights the need to provide the right atmosphere and to support and remove barriers to attendance. In some of the responses, it criticises the fact that the barriers are not listed. But then the barriers for a child to attend school will be different for each child. Education and attendance in school is everyone's business, and this partnership is a partnership of all involved with children and young people. I think it's an excellent partnership, it's an excellent document, and really we need everybody's support to ensure its success. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Councillor Bailey, would you like to sum up, please?
Yes, just briefly, Leader. You've noted the fact that Bracknell Forest enjoys 100% success in either good or outstanding schools, and that is to be thoroughly commended, and I do here and now. But one of the things also that has not escaped my attention is that compared with the other local authorities, the percentage of parents, particularly in central Bracknell, getting higher education is much lower than it should be. So we need to do something with that. School attendance, in my view, is one of those vehicles for achieving greater encouragement for our young people to get the best they can in their education and in subsequent employment. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask all those, please, in favour of this recommendations 3.1 and 3.2 on page 290 to raise your hands? Thank you. Item 11, extended burial provision at East Hampstead Park Cemetery. Can I please ask the Cabinet Member, Councillor Jeffries, to present the report?
Thank you, Leader. The proposed expansion of East Hampstead Park Cemetery, EPC, in brackets, into the adjacent land currently used as a pitch and putt at Downshire Golf Course will serve to extend the Council's ability to provide burial options for residents within the borough for at least a further 25 years. Whilst the Council is not mandated to provide such facility, there are residents of certain faiths of whom burial is considered the only afterlife option for EPC residents and only Council-owned facility in the borough for such purposes. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Can I now please ask the Officer Damien James, the Assistant Director, to add anything extra?
Thank you, Leader. Yeah, you will see from the report that this has been a very long journey to get to this stage, starting around about 2019. with an overview scrutiny panel considering a report on actions to be taken to address the dwindling supply of burial plots. The latest work that we've been doing has included a report to Cabinet on the 12th of November to appropriate the pitch and putt land for use as a cemetery, which was subject to a 3-month potential challenge, and no challenge was received by the 13th of February, and therefore the pitch and putt land has been appropriated for planning purposes. And subsequent to that, on the 13th of February, a planning application was approved by the Planning Committee. The extension will allow the introduction of natural burials, as well as over 1,000 full plots, 150 Muslim burial plots, and over 1,000 cremated remain plots, and will be an extremely important facility for the borough as a whole going forward. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Can I just ask that an archaeological dig is needed in November 2025? And this is being done at the end of the peak golf demand season so that most of them can carry on using the pitch and putt as long as possible. Is this a usual requirement, or are we special in Bracknell because we've got no, we haven't got Roman remains. We've got Iron Age remains.
Thank you, Leader. It is a condition of the planning approval that we have to undertake an exploratory archaeological dig. I don't anticipate that we will be finding any Roman remains underneath the pitch and putt course, but we are obligated to do that as part of the planning approval. In terms of whether that's usual or not, I can't really comment. That's not my area of expertise, but we will undertake that archaeological survey and dig over the winter period, which allows everyone active and users of the pitch and putt to make the most of the final summer of golf on the pitch and putt range in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Can I ask the Councillor Jeffries to move this then, please?
Thank you, Leader. I'd like to move this.
Can I ask for a seconder?
Councillor Neil, seconded.
Thank you very much. Councillor Jeffries, would you like to speak, please?
Thank you, Leader. And I'll probably touch on some points as well that were touched on as well by Mr. James. Bracknell Forest Council anticipates a complete depletion of our burial space at East Hampstead Park Cemetery and Crematorium by autumn 2026, following an updated demand modelling and land assessment. This presents a significant challenge, especially for faith groups and individuals of whom burial is the only acceptable option. The end of the new burial capacity would not only impact residents but also result in the loss of approximately $220,000 in annual burial income, while the council remains obligated to maintain the cemetery grounds at a cost of $227,000 per year for 75 years post-closure. To address this, the council has identified a 2-hectare parcel of land currently used as a pitch and putt course at Downshire Golf Course, adjacent to the cemetery and crematorium, as the only viable site for the cemetery expansion. This land could provide over 2,400 burial and cremated remain plots, including designated space for Muslim and natural burials, securing capacity for at least another 25 years. The site was formally appropriated for cemetery use in February 2025 following the Cabinet approval and no legal challenges. Planning permission was granted on the 13th of February 2025. Necessary works to convert the site, estimated to take about 6 months, are scheduled to begin in March 2026 after the there we go. Yep, failed there. Archaeological dig in November 2025, avoiding disruption during peak golf season. And in closing, please don't quote me on this, but when I did do some local history and local walk around on the golf course adjacent to the pitch and putt, we do have a tree that is 900 years old on the golf land. And we do know that there was a old hunting lodge of Henry VIII. There is, I believe, a portrait somewhere that has Henry VIII with one of his wives having a picnic underneath that tree. And when that that portrait was painted, the tree was already 400 years old. So I think an archaeological dig may produce some treasures for us. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you very much. Right. I've forgotten where we got now. That we moved to vote. Seconder, would the seconder like to speak? I got carried away by the history and the thought of finding Henry. Right, sorry. Would the seconder like to speak, please?
Thank you, Leader. I'm not sure I can follow that, but this is an important milestone in ensuring we have sufficient burial space for the next 25 years. The Pitch and Putt site was identified as the only viable option for this and has been through the relevant approval channels. It will ensure we maintain the burial space for our community, and without losing the income from new burials, we need to maintain the grounds, and I'm happy to second. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak? I would just like to say this was not an easy decision at all, because the pitch and putt is used and valued by those that are there. And when we went to a site visit as a planning meeting on a Saturday morning, it was obvious that they really wanted it to stay. But this is the only viable site for this work, this extension. So anyone else like to speak? Would the mover like to sum up, please?
Thank you, Leader. And just to echo your point, it has not been an easy decision for us. However, there are a few factors that have made the decision a little bit easier for myself, and speaking for myself in this. In that, one, we are strategically looking ahead to look after our community for at least another quarter of a century, which I think is a great achievement. Unfortunately, a group of residents that enjoy the pit and putt have lost a valuable training facility, and although it's only opened a few months, or I think it's 8 months of the year, I think 8 or 9 months of the year, in weighing that to make this decision, made it a little bit easier in that we are looking after our residents from all walks of life. I'd also like to add, just in closing, that the pitch and putt, although we will be losing that, we have, or everyone active have implemented a TrackMan system at the driving range, which then can be used by families. It's used all year round. It's under a covering. It's great fun for all walks of life, and so I think I know there is argument that it's not the same as a real pitch and putt, but I think the fact that we have supplemented the loss of the pit and putt with technology, I think is a good way forward. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Can I ask all those in favour then, please, of the recommendations 2122 on page 341 to raise your hands? Thank you. We then move on to items 12 and 13, which contain some confidential information. Now, in line with what we always want to be transparent and open, as much information as possible is actually included on all the white papers which are totally accessible. I think we all know what is contained. I know we all know what is contained in the confidential parts. And I ask if anybody is likely to want to talk about the information that's contained in the exempt information that's contained in that confidential part, then I will have to close the meeting. But I have never had to close a meeting yet since we got elected in 2023, and I do not want to do it this evening. So is there anyone who wants to talk and include the exempt information included on the pink papers during the discussion this evening? No, I then keep the open meeting. Thank you very much. If anyone does stray into that, then I will have to close the meeting. Item 12 is the Waste Collection Contract 2027. I ask the Cabinet Member to present this, please.
Thank you, Leader.
Today, I bring before you a proposal that is both practical and forward-thinking, one that ensures the continued delivery of our vital waste collection services, while also laying the groundwork for a more streamlined and integrated environmental services contract in the future. As it stands, our current contract with Suez for waste collection is due to expire on the 31st of March 2027, and there are no options left for extension. In contrast, our contract for street cleansing and grounds maintenance, currently held by Crinkles UK, runs out on the 30th of September 2028. This misalignment in contract end dates presents a clear challenge. Waste collection is not only a statutory obligation, but one that is evolving rapidly. And in the years ahead, there are substantial changes in national recycling legislation. That's why we are proposing an 18-month direct award to Suez, extending their contract until September 2028. This move will bring our waste collection contract into alignment with our other environmental services, allowing us to better coordinate efforts and manage change in a more stable and efficient manner. This isn't just about continuity. It's about setting ourselves up for long-term success. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask the Damien James, Assistant Director of Contract Services, to add anything extra?
Thank you, Leader. Very little to add as far as I'm concerned. In terms of the alignment of the three contracts, it makes sense in order to do that. A direct award to Suez to cover that 18-month period would then align all three contracts for renewal in September 2028. That will, we hope, provide a very attractive opportunity for potential bidders in 2028. So nothing further to add. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. Are there any questions? None? Right, thank you. Can I ask the mover to move this then, please? Councillor Purnell? Or she
no,
can't?
Councillor
Okay.
Neil, I'm
Okay.
moving.
Okay,
if that's
sorry.
Okay,
Okay,
Yeah, that's
Councillor Neil.
Okay. This is a strategic decision that prioritises stability, efficiency and long-term economic value for Bracknell Forest Council and its residents. We are ensuring a seamless service whilst preparing for the future. This aligns with our priority of creating a green and sustainable environment. I urge you to support this proposal so we can move forward with confidence, ensuring high-quality, cost-effective services for our community.
Thank you. The seconder, that will be me. I would just like to say that it makes sense for all three contracts to be aligned together in 2028. This will be, it looks as if it will be of financial benefit to us all. So I certainly do support these recommendations. Anyone else who would like to speak? Can I ask the mover to wind up then, please?
Nothing further to add, Leader.
Can I ask all those in favour of agreeing to recommendations 3.1 to 3.3 on page 341 to raise your hand, please? Thank you. Item 13 is Integrated Sexual Health Procurement Plan. Can I ask, please, Cabinet Member Councillor Wright to present the report?
Right. Thank you, Leader. Bracknell Forest Council is committed to providing high quality and easily accessible sexual and reproductive health services to its residents. In working in partnership with neighbouring authorities, Slough and the Royal Borough of Windsor and Maidenhead, we can also maintain our commitment to get the best value for the borough. To facilitate this partnership approach, a joint commissioning arrangement is proposed, supported by an inter-authority agreement, which will delegate authority to Bracknell Forest Council to manage the sexual and reproductive health functions on behalf of the local authorities. This paper seeks Cabinet approval for the proposed inter-authority agreement, the strategic procurement plan to procure the integrated sexual and reproductive health services for the three local authorities, the delegation of authority to the Bracknell Forest Council Executive Director for Place to award the contract to a successful bidder on behalf of the three local authorities. As our population grows, our needs change. Also, the way people access health services changes as technology improves. We are looking forward to a new contract from 2026 to 2031 that will provide a great service for all our residents.
Thank you. Can I ask the officer, Andrew Hunter, Executive Director, to add anything to it, please?
Thank you, Leader. Yeah, just a couple more points. So, as Councillor Wright has said, we're looking to initiate this contract from the 1st of July 2026 on an East Berkshire basis, so working with RBWM and Slough. We have a legal mandate as the Public Health Authority to provide sexual health services, and that includes free STI testing and contraception, and that's mandated to us, so we do need to work collaboratively to do that. We believe that a joint commissioning arrangement across the piece, across those three areas, will enable us to have sort of better service delivery and efficiency. It's probably worth just picking up on that the service offer will be all levels of reproductive health across the piece. That's levels 1, 2 and 3. Online sexual services will be available along with some STI and HIV testing, also exploring opportunities for under 18s, outreach service, comprehensive health promotion. So a reasonably comprehensive package of measures. The contract duration would be for 5 years with an optional 2-year extension of 12 months apiece. And the report highlights the various asks of the Cabinet, which Councillor Wright went through, but we are entering into an inter-authority agreement. We undertake the lead role in terms of the procurement, and as said, we would seek some delegations to myself in consultation with Councillor Wright to award the contract for the successful bidder. But happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Can I ask a question, please? We're the lead procurement, and it's with Windsor, Maidenhead and Slough. Does it put us at any risk of being the lead procurers?
No, so those matters are picked up in the inter-authority agreement so that we're clear on our responsibilities and their responsibilities. Financially, the public health grant is a ring-fenced grant specifically for public health activities, and this is a mandated service, so they all have that requirement. So we're all under the same requirements, and we've all got funding set aside for this, and as I say, the inter-authority agreement gives us those protections.
Thank you. My other question is that this is a 2-year contract that we're in at the moment, and the suggested one is for 5 years, and then for 2 years and an extra 3, or 3 years. What is the feedback? I mean, how often do we have a feedback and report on the success of the contract to make sure that it's all going well as we go in? Because this is really important, and it's really essential that we have local facilities as well.
Yes, so currently the service is monitored, and we get feedback on how it's working. When there are issues with it, those get raised with us, and we look for service improvements, and that would be the same through this process. So we would be contract managing and monitoring, ensuring that the service delivery meets the service specification. Public health is particularly good at identifying where there are problems and where there are issues that need to be addressed, because they're looking for the impact of the service. So that will be a core part of the work that this joint team will be picking up.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Can I ask Councillor Wright to move these recommendations then, please?
Thank you, Lisa. Happy to move.
Councillor Neil, seconded.
Thank you. Councillor Wright, would you like to speak to this, please?
Thank you, Leader. I ask the Cabinet to support the Integrated Sexual Health Procurement Plan as set out in this report. Our residents deserve safe, equitable and high quality access to sexual and reproductive health services. These services play a vital role in preventing sexually transmitted infections, reducing unintended pregnancies and supporting individual well-being across our communities. Through a joint procurement approach between Bracknell Forest, the Royal Borough of Windsor and Maidenhead and Slough, we are leveraging collective expertise and resources to ensure the most effective and efficient delivery of care. Delegating procurement responsibility to us and as Bracknell Forest as the most experienced and trusted lead in this space, we will reduce duplication, ensure value for money and drive consistency of service across the region. Crucially, this new contract from 2026 to 2031 reflects both the rising demand for services and the need for innovative delivery methods, including increasing online testing, strategies to reach underserved populations and greater access for young people. By approving this strategy today, we are safeguarding an essential public health function and ensuring that no one in our borough is left behind when it comes to their sexual health. I commend this plan to Cabinet and ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. The second would like to speak.
Thank you, Leader. This process will ensure we have quality and accessible services available to residents to support our ambitions in the council plan and health and wellbeing strategies, and I'm happy to second. It's perhaps also something Henry VIII would have benefited from at that time.
You follow that? Would anyone else like to speak? I don't think we want to get into the history of all this, but does anyone else like to speak? Thank you. Would the mover like to sum up, please?
Thank you, Leader. I've got nothing further to add.
I ask all those in favour of supporting the recommendations 31, 32, 33, 34 and 35 on page 368 to raise your hands. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That concludes the meeting for tonight. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.